Hey guys, Harry Hendo back with another YouTube video, and we have some very interesting news to say the least. A possible UFC superstar, previously retired UFC superstar, is facing some pretty hefty criminal charges, or could be possibly facing some pretty hefty criminal charges. Let's keep things in perfect language. Let's not try to say things that aren't true. But as you can see, guys, we have a green screen. We're utilizing it in the videos. And you see another magic trick, guys. Boom! We are off to the races. Let's bring this up. This is going to be a quick news just to get y'all guys informed. Khabib Nurmagomedov may be in serious trouble, says essentiallysports.com. The former UFC lightweight champion, considered one of the greatest mixed martial artists in the history of the sport, has been involved in various businesses since he has retired in 2020 after his father passed away from COVID. According to multiple sources, the Eagle reportedly owes over $3.3 million, or just over 300 million rubles, in taxes to the Russian Federal Tax Service, the country's tax collection agency. So, Khabib Nurmagomedov owes a couple $1,000,000 to the Russian Federal Tax Service, which more people would probably claim as the Russian government, but it is the tax service of the government, which more than likely is ran by their government. Not sure, but what does all this mean? What are the possible charges that Khabib could face if found guilty? And being a MMA YouTuber who is also in the process of going to law school, let's get into a little bit of the law. Now, before we start, I would like to say that some definitions that you will see here are a little bit different. We have to remember that all of this legal text has been translated from another language to English, and these assholes don't put the definitions of their legal terms at the beginning of the articles, which is something that American laws, especially American law books, like to do. So let's remember on page 56, let's see if there are legal terms and definitions anywhere. No, we get in articles right there and a table of contents. So let's go back to the page we were on and let's see the possible charges. Well, the possible punishment that could face for his alleged actions. So, Article 198 says, evasion by a natural person of paying a tax or fee. Now, we could read this and we could go into it, but this means by a natural person. This, I believe, does not really include someone who is on a business or from an organization that makes money. So let's go to Article 199, which talks more about evading payment of taxes and or fees collectible from organizations. Article 199, subsect 1, evasion of paying taxes and fees collectible from organizations by way of failing to submit the tax declaration or other documents whose submission is obligatory under the laws of the Russian Federation on taxes and fees, or by way of including into tax declaration or such documents wittingly false data committed on a large scale, shall be punishable by a fine in the amount of 100,000 to 300,000 rubles, or in the amount of the wage or salary or any other income of the convicted person for a period of 1 to 2 years, or by an arrest for a term of 4 to 6 months, or by the deprivation of liberty for a term of up to 2 years, with or without deprivation of the right to hold specified offices or to engage in specified activities for a term of up to 3 years. Sorry if that was loud, but this is why I don't want to do law, but too late. A lot of words to say, just a very few things that many people cannot make up from this text. So, the possible punishments for this, you could have a monetary fine of up to 100,000 to 300,000 rubles, or it could be made to where a percentage or portion of the wage or salary or any other income of the convicted person could be taken for a period of up to 1 or 2 years, up to a certain amount, I believe. This is not specified. That would have to be specified in court, or by an arrest for a term of 4 to 6 months. Everybody knows what that means. Or by deprivation of liberty for a term of up to 2 years. Now, deprivation of liberty is a term That could mean a lot of different things, and it's not specifically specified in this Russian law book, but deprivation of liberty, from my understanding, would be blocking of the freedom to leave the country, certain things like that. And as they specify right here, with or without deprivation of the right to hold specified offices or to engage in specified activities, which could be both business and personal. They could block him from leaving the country. They can block him from accessing his assets. They could block him from making more income. Let's go to subsect 2. The same deed committed, A, by a group of persons in a preliminary conspiracy, or B, on an especially large scale. Now, this is where things get more interesting, and everything I have said before this gets a little tricky, because the especially large scale subsect, which states, shall be punishable by a fine in the amount of 200,000 to 500,000 rubles, or in the amount of wage or salary or any other income of the convicted person for a period of time of 1 to 3 years. So the monetary fine could increase by a couple 100,000 rupees, and the hold of the amount of wage or salary or any other income of the convicted person for a period comes up higher. In the last, it went from 1 to 2 years. This one goes from 1 to 3 years. And, or by deprivation of liberty for a term of up to 6 years. So this means that he faces a possible 6-year hold without having the right to leave Russia, without having the right to continue his businesses, without the right to make income, possibly. And we will figure out what a large scale amount means. A large scale amount in this article, as well as in Article 199.1 of this code, shall mean the amount of taxes and or fees totaling within the period of 3 financial years running over 500,000 rubles, provided that the share of the unpaid tax, that doesn't matter, but 500,000 rubles is where this considers a large scale amount, in which the subsect 2 punishments would apply to Khabib Nurmagomedov. So 500,000 rubles, 300 million rubles. So you see that Khabib has very, very much so passed the large scale punishment, and so he will be held to this subsect right here. So he could have a 200,000 to 500,000 ruble fine, or they could get more from his wage or salary in a period of 1 to 3 years. Let's see. It does not say. Okay, so I assume that he could be arrested for the same amount of period as before. They do not change that depending on the amount. So he could still be held for an arrest for up to 4 to 6 months. But that does not include what I would also like to bring up is there are a lot more different laws. He could be punished for Article 199. He could also get punished for failure to discharge tax agent's duties, which is Article 199.1. Article 199.2, concealment of monetary funds or property of an organization or individual businessman against which the recovery of taxes or fees is levied. This is not looking good for him. If found guilty, he could be found guilty of a lot of different criminal tax evasion laws and face a lot of monetary fines and possible imprisonment. Do I believe that the Russian government will find him responsible or find him guilty of this? That is a strong possibility. Do I feel like their punishment will be what we read before, as in 4 to 6 months of imprisonment? I do not believe so. I believe they will look to get some of the money out of there. Any smart economy would look at itself and realize that this is the perfect opportunity to get some money, some free, easy money. He would be willing to give it. Khabib does not want to go to prison. He does not want to have to be subject to right of liberty, or deprivation of liberty, as I should rather say. And so they can probably get a lot of money out of this. I doubt they will be short-handing themselves to 200,000 to 500,000 rupees. I feel like they would rather make a percentage or portion of his income rather than just the standard 200,000 to 500,000 rubles. So, not looking good. Possible UFC GOAT going to jail. And it's not John Jones this time. Thanks, guys. See you guys in the next one. Quick upload, quick news upload. See y'all later.